What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So, it's been 48 hours since I installed iOS 26.4 Beta 1 on my main phone, and I have a lot to say. In this video, I want to talk about the real-life battery world performance, bugs, hidden improvements, and whether it's stable enough for you guys to use it on your daily driver, or if it's even worth it in the first place. And first things first, as I actually explained in the other video, this 17 Pro Max never typically gets warm, but when this update finished installing, it was warmer than usual and battery drain was heavier than normal, which is typical for a fresh beta when its indexing runs in the background, but it was just ever so slightly higher than what you would expect and historically what it has been now. But after about 24 hours, things definitely started to cool down. Animations were very smooth, scrolling was no issue, app launches are just as quick as they have been on prior betas, but overall it doesn't feel like a rough beta 1, and really not so much different than 26.3 RC or public release. Now, as you can see, just jumping around Clash of Clans and all that, everything is working perfectly fine. We're going to go back into this in a minute to talk about RAM management, but for now, I just want to talk about the big question, and that's battery life. This is going to be the make or break for if you should actually use this and download it, because historically we know beta 1s are usually the better ones, and then between betas 2 and 3 and 4 they usually tank for whatever odd reason. But after 48 hours, battery life is decent. It is not great by any means, and it was actually a little bit rough yesterday. So I purposely tried to drain this thing, and I have to show you. It said I used more battery than normal on Tuesday, and actually for the first time that you guys follow the channel, I've seen a low power mode. Yeah, I only had 8 hours and 4 minutes of screen active time and 6 hours on screen idle. If we jump back a couple days, you could see 8 hours and 2 hours, 7 hours and 5 hours, 7 hours and 1 hour, and then when we get back to our heavier days on Thursday, when we had 9 hours and 8.5 hours, I mean, there is a substantial difference here. But when I started deep diving into it, yes, it said I was using a lot more energy or power on my typical apps, but take a look at this. The third highest drain was the home and lock screen. This said it was on for almost 2 hours of that period of time. So this is definitely a little bit of a bug that hopefully will be resolved in the coming days, if not the next beta. So even on a 17 Pro Max with 100% battery capacity, with 131 cycles, this destroyed the battery. Technically, it still did make it through the day. For me, it came off the charger at about 7 a.m. and then I didn't have to recharge it until, let's see, what time was it? About 9-ish, I guess, or 8-ish. So yeah, it made it a full day, but this is definitely not typical battery life that you would like to see. Beyond that, I did rerun another Geekbench test, and the scores do still seem to be a little lower. It was improved still from the first run when it was released on the 16th at a 3671 to a 3745 and a multi-core from 9520 to 9567. But like we've been saying now, these scores are really irrelevant at this point for what we do on a daily basis on our phone. And now remember how I talked about Clash? Take a look at this. Every time I go back after running some apps, it does crash and say connection lost and need to reboot. This wasn't unheard of prior to 26.3 coming out. The RAM management was terrible, but with 26.3, I didn't have this problem as frequently as I did prior. Now, as you can see, it actually completely kicked me out, said connection lost, and I had to actually restart the app instead of continuing with what I had. We know that we've talked about the new features with Apple Music and all that. We've talked about the new features with end-to-end encryption on RCS messaging. I'm not going to go into all that today. You have plenty of other videos out there, including on this channel, to take a look at those if you wanted. But as far as regular performance, it's good. Cellular connectivity and Wi-Fi has been pretty good as well. I haven't had too many issues with that. The one main concern I did have was with watchOS though as well. with battery draining less here. So this was actually an improvement, but notifications not matching up. So yes, you can see I have 2 here and 2 here currently on messages. That's good. It did not look that way from day 1, but ever since it has stabilized and worked pretty good. I have noticed occasional app freezes, especially on heavier third-party apps, but banking apps are still good. And aside from some minor notification delays and some minor UI hiccups when switching apps quickly, everything has been okay. Like I said, Bluetooth has been stable, but I did experience one brief audio cutout. But again, nothing catastrophic. And again, it's just a reminder that this is still a first beta. So the ultimate question now at the end, should you install this? And the answer is no, simply because yes, it's a first beta, but also the features that are here, aside from the Apple Music Playground playlist, there's nothing here to warrant it. There's still no new Siri. There was a big update for Apple Intelligence once this downloaded, but there's still no new changes, no new extensions for ChatGPT, and then still no Gemini integration. The keyboard is still okay, still slow, but aside from that, no reason. So I would wait till at least the next beta. Hopefully we'll get some more features. That wouldn't be unheard of, and that will definitely then make this a useful update. But let me know in the comments down below, what do you think? How is it working for you if you did download it? And we will catch you in the next one. Peace.